Hi everyone, Tze Kean here. I am a Year 3 computer science student on a semester exchange in a joint institute between University Michigan and Shanghai Jiao Tong University in China. So why China? I not only wanted to hone my Mandarin skills, but to also learn how the mainland Chinese speak and the differences between our speech patterns. And of course, I wanted a little short break to do sightseeing and to learn a little bit more about the Chinese history and how they have developed. I always had the stereotype that the Chinese were very traditional and they were rigid in nature with many levels of hierarchy. But having interacted with the students, teachers, and even businessmen, I have learned that the stereotype is no longer as true. They are very adaptable and agile in their ways. The systems, such as payment methods through Alipay and WeChat Pay, are designed to be optimized and focused around practicality. One example is the rental bike system, which can be seen all over Shanghai, making travel convenient and quick. It is not only cheaper, but also a lot more environmentally friendly. Throughout this exchange, I can say that there were two distinct events that helped me grow as a person. The first was the initial shock that I had upon reaching the university. I had applied to an international university by mistake, so my initial expectations of only learning Chinese cultures were dashed. I now had to interact with an international audience: French, Germans, Swedes, Americans, and so many more. I was really taken aback because I didn't know how each culture interacted, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't be able to understand their conversations and jokes. After the sharing circle, I got some advice to keep an open mind and to view the situation in a positive light. So instead of viewing the situation as a challenge of always needing to adapt, I saw it as an opportunity to learn new cultures firsthand. By seeing things in a different perspective, I was able to raise my CQ drive. I could now approach someone new with a positive mindset and inherently find joy in being able to interact with someone from another culture without being afraid that the differences might hinder the conversation. This also raised my self-efficacy to adjust and to be more confident that I would not be negatively judged by others. I also felt that my CQ knowledge improved as this new approach allowed me to meet even more people and to appreciate the differences between cultures and to better emphasize with someone else for why he might behave in a certain way. This gave me management-specific knowledge on the different procedures that other cultures follow, allowing me to be a better leader in the future. The next hurdle was how people did business in China. And whoa, I thought that Singaporeans were low context, but the Chinese really use a lot of different body language to communicate with each other. An example is the way you clink your wine glass, and that your boss's wine glass must be higher than yours to show respect to his authority. Another example is how you thank a person by pouring your tea through tapping your two fingers on the table instead of verbally saying it. These practices originate from old folks' tales that have integrated into the local norms which I was previously not aware of. And to me, it seems like a small gesture that really didn't matter. But the locals here really watch out for these small actions because to them, every action has a meaning behind it. It was a very steep learning curve for me being thrown in such an environment without rulebooks. This is also why my CQ strategy and action improved drastically. Through the mindfulness and reflection at home, I learned that I needed to plan ahead before engaging in a conversation. Other than planning, I learned how to check my biases and to review initial assumptions and to update my mental model when I have a mistaken viewpoint. And beyond planning, I had to be mindful of my body postures and expressions other than my verbal behavior. It was challenging, but I felt I had become adaptable to many other cultural interactions. The assignment that stretched me the most was to notice my thoughts and emotions. I am personally a headstrong person and I like to do things my way. However, the Chinese have a community and group mindset which I could only appreciate on a deeper level by being in tune with my emotions. While I had a high CQ drive to be just out there and learn, my CQ action was lacking initially. It was through PM8 that I reflected on my speech acts and behaviors that I realized I needed to change my interaction approach. It was only when I was more flexible in my communication manner that I could accommodate to another cultural context, allowing me to make new friends on a more casual manner without it being awkward at times. To end off, I want to say that the journey wasn't easy, but it wasn't exactly excruciating. While being a new environment might be uncomfortable, as long as you are willing to persist, you will meet new friends and to discover a lot more about the world. And hey, you might just be like me, coming to a foreign land without knowing anyone and being unfamiliar with the language. But if you keep an open mind and reach out to others, I'm sure people will reciprocate the enthusiasm. Who knows? You might appear on your school's newsletter, or better yet, bump onto influential people and make great connections for life. I, for one, got to meet many amazing people and embarked on many trips and even appeared on the local news. 我想我说的够久了，现在我想知道你的故事会是怎么样子。在结束之前，我会用上海话说声谢谢，虾虾农。